Most people spend years learning a foreign language but still cannot communicate. Not because the language is too difficult, but because they make one extremely common mistake. Many people begin their language learning journey full of excitement. They watch an inspiring video, download a learning app, choose a language that sounds interesting, and tell themselves that this time they will stay committed. But just a few days later, after completing 1 or 2 lessons, their enthusiasm starts to fade. They then begin searching for videos that promise fluency in just a few weeks. Instead of spending time using and exposing themselves to the language, they spend hours watching content about learning methods. The problem is that consuming content about learning is not the same as actually learning. The more they search for the perfect method, the more they delay taking real action. And that is the trap that keeps many people from making progress. One of the main reasons many people give up halfway is that they choose the wrong language from the start. They do not choose it because they genuinely enjoy it or truly need it, but because they want to impress other people. It may sound exciting to say that you are learning a difficult or uncommon language, but that excitement rarely lasts for long. Once learning begins to require time, effort, and consistency, external motivation quickly fades away. If you are a beginner, it is often better to choose a language that feels approachable and enjoyable to learn. The satisfaction of understanding a sentence or reading a simple paragraph can keep you motivated far longer than any compliment from others. Real progress comes from genuine interest, and that interest is what helps you stay committed when learning becomes challenging. If you are not sure which language to learn, remember that the easiest choice is often the smartest one. Many people start with languages that are famous for being difficult, only to feel overwhelmed by complex writing systems, pronunciation, and grammar. Meanwhile, languages such as Spanish, French, or Portuguese are often more beginner-friendly and offer a huge amount of free learning resources. More importantly, these languages are spoken in many countries around the world, giving you plenty of opportunities to use them in real-life situations. Your goal at the beginning should not be to conquer the most difficult language. Instead, focus on building confidence and creating a sense of progress every day. When you can clearly see your improvement, you will be far more motivated to keep going for the long term. Many people believe they fail because they have not yet found the best language learning method. In reality, what determines whether you will stay committed is your motivation. If your reason for learning is simply to watch movies without subtitles or follow a popular trend, that excitement will quickly disappear when things become difficult. On the other hand, if you want to communicate with friends, work abroad, or connect with a new community, you will have a strong enough reason to keep going, even when you feel frustrated or unmotivated. The more closely your motivation is connected to real life, the more likely you are to stay consistent. So, let us know in the comments, what inspires you to learn a new language? Your answer might just motivate someone else to start their own journey. This is one of the most common mistakes people make. They spend hours watching videos about how to learn a language, reading articles filled with study tips, and constantly searching for the perfect method. Yet, after all that time, their vocabulary has barely improved. The truth is that you cannot learn a language simply by listening to other people talk about it. Some people complete a few lessons on a learning app and believe they are making real progress, while others watch hundreds of tutorial videos but have never seriously worked through a basic lesson. Learning does not come from endlessly preparing to study. It comes from actually engaging with the language. The more time you spend reading, listening, speaking, and practicing, the more progress you will make. Action creates improvement, not endless research. The sooner you start using the language, the faster you will grow. Once you have chosen a language and found a clear reason to learn it, the next step is building a strong foundation. Many people try to skip this stage because they think grammar and exercises are boring. However, these basic skills are the foundation for everything that comes later. Instead of jumping from one app to another, Find a beginner-friendly textbook and work through it lesson by lesson. These books are usually designed with a logical learning path, helping you gradually build vocabulary, understand grammar, and learn how to use the language in real situations. A good textbook provides structure, which is something many learners lack. Rather than relying on daily motivation or random study materials, you follow a clear roadmap and steadily move forward. If you simply stay consistent and complete one basic textbook, you will build a stronger foundation than many people who study only when they feel inspired. Once you have built a basic foundation, many learners rush into speaking as quickly as possible. However, before you can speak well, you need to understand how the language actually sounds and works in everyday life. That is why listening should become your next priority. One of the simplest ways to practice is by watching YouTube videos in the language you are learning. Do not worry if you cannot understand everything. Focus on the visuals, guess meanings from the context, and gradually become familiar with the sounds, rhythm, and pronunciation of the language. Over time, you will start noticing the same words and phrases appearing again and again. Your brain will naturally begin connecting sounds with meaning, making future learning much easier. If you find these tips helpful, take a moment to like the video and subscribe to the channel so you do not miss future content on learning, self-improvement, and personal growth. One of the most common mistakes in listening practice is always turning on English subtitles. Many people believe they are learning a foreign language while watching movies, videos, or anime, but in reality, their brains are mostly focused on reading English. As a result, even after months or years of exposure, their listening skills show little improvement. If you want to make faster progress, try using subtitles in the language you are learning instead. When you listen and read the same language at the same time, your brain is forced to process new sounds, vocabulary, and sentence structures. This creates a much stronger connection between what you hear and what you understand. At first, this approach may feel more difficult and less comfortable. However, that challenge is exactly what drives real learning. If you want to understand a new language, you need to give it your full attention rather than relying on a language you already know. Once you can understand most of what you hear, it is time to start practicing speaking. The good news is that you do not need to find a native speaker right away. One highly effective method is to pause videos after important sentences and repeat them out loud. Try to imitate the speaker's pronunciation, intonation, and speaking speed as closely as possible. You can also imagine real-life situations and practice using the phrases you have just learned. This helps turn passive knowledge into active communication skills. Another useful exercise is recording yourself talking about your day, your future plans, or any topic that interests you. Do not worry too much about making mistakes. Fluency does not come from speaking perfectly. It comes from being willing to use the language again and again. The more often you speak, the more natural and confident you will become over time. After all the methods and tools we have discussed, there is one simple truth that many people overlook. There is no shortcut to becoming fluent in a language. You do not need exceptional talent, a perfect memory, or some secret technique. What truly makes the difference is how much exposure you have to the language every day. Every time you read a paragraph, watch a video, listen to a conversation, or try to express your thoughts in the new language, your brain is learning. Each small interaction helps strengthen your understanding and gradually builds your skills over time. At first, progress may feel slow and almost impossible to notice. However, those small improvements accumulate day after day. Fluency is not the result of one breakthrough moment. It is the outcome of hundreds of hours spent listening, reading, speaking, and practicing consistently. The people who succeed are often not the most talented. They are simply the ones who keep showing up and engaging with the language every day. As your language skills improve, you will begin to realize that learning a language is about much more than memorizing vocabulary and grammar. Every language is connected to a unique culture, a particular way of thinking, and a different perspective on the world. That is why, if you truly want to use a language like a native speaker, you should also learn about the lives, habits, current events, and topics that matter to the people who speak it. Doing so will not only help you better understand what you hear and read, but it will also make your conversations feel more natural and meaningful. In the end, learning a foreign language is not simply about speaking new words. It is an opportunity to broaden your knowledge, connect with more people, and experience the world through an entirely different lens. The language itself is only part of the journey. The culture and people behind it are what bring it to life. If there is one important lesson to remember after watching this video, it is that learning a language is not a race to see who can learn the fastest. Many people give up because they expect results too quickly. They want to understand everything immediately, speak fluently within a few weeks, or memorize thousands of words in a short period of time. In reality, language skills are built little by little through small actions repeated every day. A basic lesson, a short video, an imaginary conversation, or just a few minutes of listening practice can all make a difference if you stay consistent long enough. Instead of searching for the perfect shortcut, focus on showing up every day. Progress may seem slow in the beginning, but every effort adds up over time. Consistency is what turns beginners into fluent speakers. And if you enjoy content about learning, psychology, and personal growth, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and join us for more videos in the future.